or where it says sign in with Zoom, you can click on that and it will take you to where it says to sign in. And it gives you the options down at the bottom. You'll see on the screen where you can sign in with your Gmail account, which means that you don't have to do that long form of filling your name, your age, your country, because you can actually use your email account to create an account with Zoom, which makes it so much easier. So all you're doing is putting in your email address, and then you create a password specifically for logging into Zoom. So make sure you choose something you can remember, because if you can't remember, you're going to have to go through a long process of trying to recover the email address, the password. So as I was saying, you can use Facebook, Gmail, or SSO. That's for iPhone users, but you can use that to log in to Zoom. So I usually suggest that persons use your Gmail account if you have one. If you don't have one, then you can use Facebook. Everybody has a Gmail account? I would suggest that you create a Gmail account. I would suggest that you do that. It makes it easier. All right. All right. So what you need to do, as I said, you go to the website, you create the account. Is anybody here creating an account for the first time? You've never done one? Yes, Stacey, you have your hand up and I see on your phone. I'm not hearing you somewhere. Okay, so for those who haven't been able to log in individually as yet, I've helped those who I could, but the instruction is there. It's very simple, and if you have any challenges, you can just look back at the notes and it will tell you exactly what to do. As it says, you create the account. Even if you have a Hotmail or a Yahoo, you can still use it, but it's just easier with a Gmail account, right? Can I move to the next one? So once you've logged on, creating the account, you can actually set a meeting. And how you do that is that you would go into schedule a meeting. The option comes up at the top bar. As you can see, even in the display here, so it says Zoom, and then it has the other writings in blue. You usually would see there, or you will see on the left-hand side of your screen once you've logged in. Jordan, can you bring up a new window where you are in a Zoom so that I can see that specifically? On your handout, it's on page, it's the one that is numbered 6, where you see that list of items in the corner, and it tells you schedule a meeting along with other things, join a meeting and all of that. So what you do is click on schedule the meeting, and then an option will come up for you to put in the name of the meeting, the time and date for that meeting, along with the whether or not you want a password to be used or you want it to generate automatically. So you don't have to think of a password if you don't want to, you know. It will allow the computer to generate a password for you automatically. So let us say the meeting is going to be Sunday school, right? You click on Sunday, just click on where it says meeting name and you type in Sunday school. And then you put in, so let's say it's going to be tomorrow. You put in tomorrow's date and time. So it's going to be at 9 o'clock. The option is there. You scroll through and you click on the time. And then it will ask you how long it's going to be. So it will give you an option to put the start time in and an option to put the end time in. So it's going to be from 9 to 11, right? And then you click on generate password, and then you would click on save. Well, you have other options that you can use. If you want to allow your participants to be able to come into the meeting with their mics activated, meaning that they can come in and talk to you once they join. Or once they join the meeting, they're automatically muted. Now you might wonder why you want to mute them when they come in. It's because sometimes persons are talking, sometimes their background is noisy, and when you're hearing all of that, it's very distracting. So that's why you prefer to mute them when they're coming in to the meeting. And you would have the option to, once you are hosting them, you're creating the meeting itself, you are now the meeting host, and that means that you have the privilege to mute them, unmute them, kick them out of the class, which I'm not saying you should do, but you have that option as well. You can turn off their video, you can turn off their mic. Yes, yes, yes. Right. Yes. Or what you will do, it doesn't automatically, well, it depends on your host privilege. But you usually can unmute them, or it will tell you to ask the person to turn their mic on. So where you say unmute, it will say ask the person to unmute. So what will happen when you click on that, I see a message on my phone or my computer that says unmute. The host is asking me to unmute, and I will do that. So that way, once they click on that, they automatically hear you. And if they're not seeing the prompt, you can actually say it to them in the meeting because they'll hear you, you know. You can say to Sister Tomlinson, unmute your mic. Because I've been sending you the message, but it don't seem like you're seeing it. Because sometimes we don't see the things because probably they're distracted as students. They don't always see it. But for those of you who teach the babies, you're gonna have to ask them to call mommy or daddy and ask them to unmute. Because I've had to do that. You say to them, go and call mommy or daddy and let them help. Right? Okay, so that's a different, okay, yes, there's a way for them to unmute. They can unmute because the option is there. Once a person comes into a meeting as a participant, you are able to mute them, but obviously you have to give them the option to unmute so that they can talk to you when you're ready for them to talk to you. So you can't take it away completely, right? Especially not with the free version. Unless you're in like a webinar or you have a paid version that allows you to do. It gives, because once you pay for certain things, you get more options. What you can do is that you can create a waiting room. That you have that option to create a waiting room. I'm not sure if the free version still allows you to do that. The free version still does. Mm-hmm. And I'm saying yes. All right, let me put it to you this way. Let's just say all of us were at home, right? And my sister here, Clunies, her background is noisy. It's not that she's making noise, but her background is very noisy, and I'm speaking and the person's not gonna hear me so well, right? Because it's distracting. I can mute her. Now, if she didn't have the option to unmute herself, how would I be able to speak to her? Or if she have a question to ask me? Because the thing is, if I have all the privilege and she is not able to unmute herself, then I won't know when she wants to ask a question or not unless she type it in the chat. No, what she's asking me now, she doesn't want the person to be able to unmute themselves. And I'm saying to you, for the free version, you won't be able to do that. The paid one, what you'd have to do for the paid one, you go into the settings and you set those things. Right, because when you have a paid version, there are a lot of things that you are able to do. So you can select a waiting room. So if persons are, let us say persons are not following the rules that you have for the classroom, you type a message so that before they come into the session, they see a message. That is one of the things that you can do with your waiting room. And they stay there, and let us say if they're acting up in class, you put them in there, so that can be like their timeout session. And you might say, I'm giving them a minute and I'm going to add them back to the class. So you can have a note that they will see that comes up on their screen. They won't see or hear you, and they won't see what is happening in the class. So what they will see is a message that you've already prepared that says, so for example, for us at Harborview, we usually say to our participants, please ensure that your mic is muted and your camera is off. Depending on the session, we might say the camera is off or not. And we might say, welcome to the Harborview Church of God, whatever the meeting name is. We might say, please be reminded that if you have a question to ask, raise your hand or type your question in the chat box. Those are the things that you can do. Now, if you are the teacher and you want to speak to your students directly, what you can say to them in putting up that message in your waiting room is please ensure that you only unmute your mic when asked. If I mute you, please wait until I have given you permission to unmute. You know, whatever message you want to put in to tailor suit it to your class, right? Yeah, man, because once you're the host, you know, everybody can hear you. Even if you mute them, Yeah, man, you'll see everything that is happening. Yes. Yes. And there's an option that you have now in Zoom where you can be speaking to the class and they'll see your video and you can also share, which that has been around from ever since I've known Zoom. So as a teacher, they'll see you talking because the class is seeing me talking now. And they also can see whatever I'm sharing on my screen, right? And what you can do, you can pin your video to a specific point. Now, when I say pin your video, you as a host, you can decide you want the little video that is showing yourself to stay one place on the screen. So that when you're changing your PowerPoint or you're going through your notes, your video is not blocking whatever you're showing on the screen. All right, but let me walk you through some of the things. I know it's not so easy for you because we're in here. Oh, sis, go ahead. Oh, I think you're talking about Google Classroom. All right, so all right, I'm going to get into. All right, so the thing is that that cannot really happen unless you don't have host privilege. Now, for those online, my dear sister asked if it's possible for the participants to block you from seeing what is happening in the class, to kick you out of the classroom, to basically take away certain privileges from you as the host. Now, let me explain something. You have different online platforms. There's one called Google Classroom. There's one called Zoom. There's a lot of them. Zoom is one. Zoom is just one of them. And I need to explain this to you. When you use Zoom, it uses a lot of data. So that is why when your students are on it, they may say to you that they got kicked off if they're using their phones, their mobile, the mobile money. I can't remember the term, forgive me. That's sad, but the credits, right? So their credit might finish very quickly because Zoom uses a lot of megabytes, right? The Google Classroom does not. It is much smaller compared to Zoom. And what you find is that I have another handout along with this one that tells you what are the other tools that you can use to enhance your teaching experience, right? And if you use those additional tools while you're on Zoom, it uses a lot more megabytes because you're streaming through Zoom. And remember, those individual platforms also will need megabytes as well. Now, for those who are not sure what that is, megabytes is the size of the file that allows you to see the item that you're looking at, right? And the larger the file is, the more credit it's going to use from your phone. So videos going to use a lot of credit. And if you use Word, it's almost like nothing. But because you're using it through Zoom, it's going to require a lot of megabytes. I see you have a question. Yes. And like I would charge and sometimes during your business stuff and service, you have to charge and supply. And because it's food, it's going down. But because sometimes when they're going to work, they come out to work and want to eat. I want to feed them something to eat. Stop them from the lesson every day. And everything in there. And when they say, no, this moving is up too much power and I have to charge. But I can't compare what I do. Okay. Okay, so here's the thing. If you have a plan, if you have a, all right, hold on. So if you have, okay, so that's a loaded question. There are two questions. One is about whether or not the Zoom platform drains your battery for your device. And the other question was whether or not it runs off your credit. Now, in terms of, I'm going to answer the credit first because I was talking about that before. Regarding the credits, if you have a plan, an internet plan for your home, it depends on the type of plan that you have. If it is a fixed plan that is unlimited, then more than likely it will not. If you are restricted, let us say you can only use a maximum of 2 gig or 4 gig, once you've used that amount, then they're gonna charge you. So yes, if you have a fixed plan, if you have an unlimited plan, all right, so you would probably have to speak to your internet provider about that because I wouldn't know the type of plan that you have. And what I do know is even when they say I found out recently that even when they say unlimited, they really don't make it unlimited. But that is more so for the mobile devices. They'll say you have an unlimited plan, but really they give you up to like a cap of maybe like 4 gigs or 8, but it's not really unlimited. So that is why even parents, when they purchase like certain plans, they may complain to you and say, Miss, I don't know enough, but I can't get on. And so you have to be aware of those things. Now, regarding the power for what the Zoom platform uses, it uses power, yes. I don't have anything to support it uses a lot more than the other platforms. I can't say that for sure. I personally don't have that issue, so I can't say that. I know persons have said that, but I don't know of that. What I do know is that depend on the type of device that you have. Like certain tablets, they generally don't keep a long charge. And when you tend to use something that uses a lot of video, because it's a video platform, so anything that uses a lot of video, it actually drains your battery a lot quicker than if you were just typing. So on that basis, it is quite possible that it actually allows the battery to run down a lot quicker, right? So I don't think they're necessarily not being truthful. I think that is just because the battery life of the device is not one that holds it for a very long time. So you'll find that even when you're watching like YouTube videos, when your children are at home and watching, that the battery dies a lot quicker. Yeah, so that's the reason. Yes, yes. All right, Jordan is with us. I wanted to share with you. Sure.
My 2 grandchildren on Zoom with classes, right? And what happened sometimes, for instance, this has the blackboard up, and my kids ask a question, and they keep on shipping. So, like, for instance, she shared something, I said, what is this? You will see come and it's going to take a long time for it to come out.
Okay, so that is a very common issue that all of us have. Now, what you'll find sometimes when you're teaching, you have your material up. And some person will say, Miss, I don't see it. And the other person will say, but Miss, I see it.
Yes.
Another person will say, Miss, I can barely see it. It's just buffering. That has nothing to do with you, the teacher. That has to do with internet connection. Okay? And sometimes it can have something to do with the device, but more than likely it is the internet connection. So what you'll have to do is you make sure that whatever it is that you're teaching, you have something in Word that you can send to the student. And I say Word, Microsoft Word, because it is easier. The file itself is a smaller size. And once you send them that, and I recommend sending at the end of the lesson or just before class starts, when you're in the classroom, you can send the file to them. So that way, whatever the lesson is for the class, so as I say, I'm reading from Matthew 4, verse 1, you make sure you type that out and you put in the scripture in there and you surmise whatever it is, what your sermonette or your lesson is going to be. You literally would have to do that because the fact is, that's why it's so important to be prepared, because the fact is everybody's internet connection will not be the same. And guess what? There'll be some people that probably come on and they can't get to stay on for different reasons. It could be that something happened and they have to come off. It could be that they just weren't able to join class that Sunday. It could be a number of things. It could be their internet connection. It could be the credit they don't have anymore. So those are things that you have to think about. And guess what, teachers? That helps you too, because you're able, when you're finished with, let's say, at the end of a month, you can look back and see all the things that you would have done, and you can prepare yourself for each month, each period or term going forward. And you can draw back on some of those lessons to reinforce whatever it is that you're teaching, right? Yes, using the YouTube and the other add-ins that Zoom has helps you, right? But nothing is better than having your notes. Not true? Because when you have something that you can see and feel, it's different. And obviously they won't be able to have it physically because you're not meeting physically, but they can go back and look at it and you can. What is good is if you have a rapport with the parent and you can say, Mommy, make sure so you go through this lesson with Shamar or Tamara or whomever the child is, because then they will have their memory verse that they need to remember, and that way they can just look on the paper and say the things that they need to. Just like how you would when they come to class, it's the same thing, but we have to think like that. That it's the same thing, right? So contrary to what people think, actually when you have class online, it requires a lot of work, and sometimes it may come off as it's so simple and that's nothing. That's not the case, brothers and sisters. It is not so easy, because what you find is the more work and preparation you put into your lesson, the better it comes across when you're displaying it on the screen. Right? And it may seem simple, but it is not. And also, one of the biggest things that you're going to have, or the most challenging thing, as my sister mentioned, is classroom control. Classroom control will be your biggest challenge. So once you've learned to use the technology, it is nothing but the classroom control. So you have to ensure that, one, you establish a relationship with the child, and depending on the age group of the child, the parents as well, because sometimes the parent really would have to sit with the child depending on the age group of the child, because the child cannot maneuver the device, but they will learn quickly, I assure you. Some of them are quicker than us. I can speak for my children, and so even if they're not aware how to use it initially, after a while they'll surpass you, and they will try to do things like, quote unquote, kick you out of the classroom. But if you're using Zoom, that cannot happen. They cannot mute you. They cannot stop your video. The only thing that is possible for them to do is if you activate the annotate. I hope I'm saying that properly. It's almost like repeat the name? Annotating. Or yes, that is what it is. What it allows the persons to do, you activate a whiteboard, and you are able to write, and they can write as well. What you're allowing them to do is write on the whiteboard. So I want to actually show it to you. Jordan, can you bring up Zoom, take off the PowerPoint and bring up the whiteboard on Zoom? Okay. Oh, lovely. Yes, yes. Yes, and the funny thing is, because children are so curious, that is how they find out how to use these things. So they're there and you're teaching. I know some of us are teaching in Spanish very short, so some of us is a minute, some of us is 2. So the moment you start teaching, they're looking at what this button can do, what this one can do, and so on and so forth. And what that means is that you have to be aware of how to use the item. It can be like Sister Robinson, you can actually ask them, okay, I see you doing this, man. Okay, that's very good. Now, how you do it? Show me so I can know how to do it as well. You're not seeing the whiteboard option? It's in the menu. Go into the menu and you'll see. All right, so there are some icons at the bottom of your login when you go into Zoom. Once you've activated the Zoom link, pardon? Okay, so once you log in, you usually see your chat. Sometimes you see a chat bar, it's the list of participants, right? Now, there are some options at the bottom that says mute, video, stop or start video. You also have security. More than likely, you will never need to use the security option, right? And you have it lists the number of participants who are online. And there's a section that says the chat. There's one that says share screen. And then there's another section that says record. And then there's one that says reactions. And there's usually 3 little buttons that tells you, allows you to click on them. Once you're the host, you'll see it. The 3 little buttons that come up and you click on it and it tells you that you can go live to Facebook or you can go live to YouTube. You can activate the announcement. You can activate a whiteboard, or you can, I can't remember all the list of things, forgive me, because I don't have the option, like I'm online right now. Jordan does. So he brought up the whiteboard, which will be coming up shortly. Right, so you don't come off and hit that as yet. So when you click on share screen, you'll see this option come up. And what it tells you is you can share the actual screen of your video. You are able to share the actual screen of your video. So you just want the persons to be able to see you as you speak, which you're seeing that right now. Those of you who are online, I'm talking. Or you can click on your screen. Now what that will do if you click on screen is that it will show whatever you have displayed on your computer. Then there's a whiteboard. And you also, for those of us who have iPhone, not one of them, but those of you who have iPhone, you click on the iPhone option and it allows you to maneuver through the whiteboard or whatever option you have. Because iPhones have a lot of features that the regular Samsungs do not. So I'm not so versed with the iPhone section. I don't have enough tools. Now, Jordan has a PowerPoint presentation. So it's giving him the option to display the PowerPoint. They also give you the option to go on the internet. They have whatever tools they have on their computer screen. So you've got all of those items. So they have Excel, Microsoft Excel, Microsoft Word. It will present those options there to you as well. You see, he has Zoom open another platform that we use to do the display. So that's why it's giving you all of those options. But I'm going to ask you to click on whiteboard for now. So click on shift. All right, so you'll see the whiteboard come up and you will see a range of options at the top activities that you're doing in the class. For example, you're asking about donations, and different persons are indicating what they want as donation. You can type it up on the screen so everybody is aware of what we discussed. Or if you're talking about ideas for class kit or something that you want to share with you, you can type it up to the students and they are aware of what it is. Or if you're giving them a specific activity to do in that moment, you will just type it up there and they will be able to see. You can also draw, you can put shapes, you can put colors, you can color the background, you have a lot of options. You can really play around with that screen or that option. And that is very helpful to you. And you can say you have fun and just like you were typing in Microsoft Word. So for the meantime, if you want to change something, you can undo it or you can redo all of those things. Right? So does not really help you here? Teachers? I guess so. I know here. See, and Jordan is showing you how it works. Thank you, Jordan. Okay, thank you for that. So that was two options. That was the text as well as if you have the option where you can almost like draw and you can write everything that you're doing. So the hello was written as a draw feature and the other one was a text box. So you could type in and typing and come. So those also enhance your teaching for the class. Now then I want to come back out of the whiteboard feature and go back to where we were in share so I can walk past another feature also. Pardon? Well, yes. And so normally, if we were going to share a video, you'll see at the bottom of the screen that there's a share computer sound and optimize screen share for video. Now you have two options. You can actually share a video that has no sound, right? Or you can share, so for some videos you don't need to have any words. You can just be, for example, it's a mine, you wouldn't need to activate a sound for that, right? And when you click on the option to share the video clip, it will bring up your video, and while that is sharing, because you can click on just sharing that screen and go with the class, you can actually have something that's playing in the background. So you can actually set your computer. You can listen to something, so they're preparing another section for this. And you're queuing up another video that has singing or a lesson to a particular point. You can be playing that in the background while the video is showing. So when you want to activate a sound video, you click on both share computer sound and optimize video clip. And once you click on both of those, you click on share. Obviously, when you have to click on the YouTube or the Chrome section, when you have the video, Chrome is always at the Internet Explorer that we're using. So you can use Internet Explorer, Firefox, Google Chrome, but actually in Google Chrome right now is a YouTube video. So it's going to click on share new tab, which is the YouTube video, click on the sound option and the video option, and then click share. Once he has done that, the YouTube screen will come up, and then you click on that box that has the vision thing that looks almost like a square. You click on it and maximize the screen, and then you click play. Click on play, Jordan, but this is good. So, okay. And they will see it. They will come up just like this on their screen. You will still see it, you know, but it won't be exactly like it on your screen, but you will still see it. And what will happen is that Zoom, as a host, your Zoom window, there'll be a little bar that comes up at some area of the screen. You're not seeing Jordan's own, but he has a bar. There it is now. Because he's sharing it with you now that you're seeing it. But normally the class would not see this, they would see a black square in, like wherever you have this bar, they are going to see like a black section. So they won't see exactly what you're seeing right now. So what this allows you to do when if you want to stop sharing, you can click on stop share, that red button right there. Or if you want to minimize the video, minimize video where you're tracking, right? And what that allows you to do is reduce the screen back to where you were. And if you do that, you can actually type in another video and it will come. So maybe you want to stay on YouTube and bring up another video so you don't have to close it out. So that's also an option. And if you don't want the class to see what you're doing, if we pause, you can say pause share. There it is. So you can pause the share, come out of the video, type in the other name, bring it up, and then you click on share again and you maximize the video. That's not so hard, right? Okay, repeat it. Your voice is not so loud, so hold on, sis. Sister asked me, she's not the host and she wants to share the video if she's able to do that. That's a loaded question. I'm going to explain the ins and outs of that. If you are a teacher in a classroom, but you have an administrator, which usually is the case for our Sunday school. So usually our tech team is the administrator, or Sunday school teachers join, and we allow them to become co-hosts. Now, when we make them co-hosts, it gives them pretty much almost the same privileges as being the host. So when they become co-hosts, yes, they can share their screen, they can share videos, they can share sound, they can share text, they can share anything that they have on their computer. What they are unable to do, however, is end the meeting. They can't do that, right? If you are the host of the meeting, there's no activity, just you, the teacher who's hosting the meeting, you are able to do everything that you want to do. Share your sound, share a PDF file on screen, or with anything that you want to share, you're able to. Like if you want to start the class, if you want to mute everyone, start the video, you can do all of those things. However, if you have an administrator, you are a teacher, and they have not given you the co-host privilege, then there are things that you will not be able to do. So you would have to ask the person to allow you to do that, because you can't automatically share unless they have that in their settings. Because as the administrator, if I'm setting up a meeting for a teacher, let's say there's one teacher who has a class, I can do it so that anyone who comes into the meeting is able to share the screen. Like you do have that option, right? Where anybody can share, which means that the teacher or the student can share whatever they want to share. No, you tend to do that with students who are older, like in their 20s, in their late teens, because they tend to be more responsible. And the reason why you would give them that privilege is because, remember, when you're educating person about sharing, and it could be that you're giving persons assignments to do, or that they're presenting for the class. So when you're presenting, you want to allow them to be able to share whatever that they're sharing with everybody. So in that particular case, that is why you would have the option to allow everyone to share. Makes sense, right? That's really you have to keep them personal. So you have to keep them all right, so that's another thing I'll explain. It can be done two ways. It can be done directly by the host in the meeting itself, where you allow specific persons to share. And what will happen, let's say you call on Sister Thomas. Sister Thomas, I want you to share now. She will click on something on the screen that allows you to bring up that option on the screen, please. It won't come up the same exact way in Jordan's Zoom because he's the host. But as a host, no, I want you to go to where you have the menu bar for Zoom. I want to show that on the screen, the Zoom meeting screen. And click on where it says more. Click on where it says more, where the three dots are. Oh, so that's it. Jordan screen, you wouldn't have that, but for some person, depending on the version of Zoom that you have or the type of machine that you have, the option will come in where those three parentheses are the three dots. You click on that and it will ask you to request share. Or you can click on where it says share. As I said, you won't see it in this particular one, but it will ask you to ask host to share your screen. So what you're in other words, you send that message to the host to say, okay, I am ready now to begin sharing my screen. That is one way of doing it. Another way would be to go into the settings before you go into the meeting. Right? There's a section that you can go into where it says settings in Zoom. And you indicate in that setting that person has the privilege to share. You said it before the meeting. Right. Right, but that's when you're the host because it comes up that way to you because you're the host. Right. So when you're not the host and you're a participant, it comes up differently on the screen. Right. Yes. Okay, I'm going to do the hands-on, but I want to, okay. The only challenge with that is that I was hoping persons would bring their devices because for each person to come up and do it individually, that's going to take some time. That's going to take some time. And it means that we have to sanitize the machine each time we use it. So I'm not sure if we can accommodate that. Sister Tomlinson, a moment, please. Sure. Alright, the problem is I wouldn't be able to allow each individual person to do that. No, we just don't have the time for that. I can show you on the screen the specific thing that you want to answer. Would that be helpful? Okay, who is on? Everyone has internet connection? Yes, we have a link, we have a Zoom link that we can share with you. That's what persons are online. No. So we can share the Zoom link. Jordan, can you go into the email and display the Zoom link? Sister Tomlinson, do you have all the participants' WhatsApp address? Because it would be easy to just share it with them individually that way. Alright.
Send it to them after, all right.
No, they want to go through it now, so I'm gonna see if I can just give you the information because I have it here. Yeah? Yes, sir? You're asking to share.
No, I was saying that, these are
Oh, you're each person saying to one person.
yeah, one great gospel, they know each other.
Okay. All right, we can do that. We can do that. That is much simpler. Thank you so much for that suggestion, Sister Caroline. Sister Caroline suggesting that each of us who represents our group, one person in the group is sent the Zoom link, and then that person can share the other team members, and based on that, we can easily go through the information now. So Sister Tomlinson, can you just send it to one person of each of the group? Yes. That's fine. It's okay. They can go. They can go. Brother Felicia, can you bring back up the Zoom options, please? Okay, I'm going to ask the rest of us to. I'm going to ask you to pay attention. I'm going to go through something on the screen now. Bring up the options. So not share, not share. What's the word in mute? Mute. The mute section. All right, so you'll see the option here for mute, and you realize that there are lots of options when you click on the arrow, right? Now, I'm pretty sure that none of you are going to be activated based on the question I asked earlier. So I'm not sure if going through each of the items here would be beneficial to you, but I will say this much. The two options at the very top, or those four options there, microphone and send your real tech, high-tech definition audio, stereo mix, microphone, USB, same as system. Those options represent how you are running your audio. So for example, we would have, Jordan has USB microphone, right? I think he's using headphones. We have a jack that is plugged in to the computer, and it's connecting to our software, and that runs the audio, right? That's why you have that option there. If you're going to use that headphone, you would also use that option. After you would probably select it for the type of Zoom that you have, will come automatically once you plug in the headphone. Or you can use it directly from your computer, so it's same as system. Now, if you are using other devices, audio devices, you would tweak it accordingly. So you may use stereo mix, or you may use microphone Those where it says test speaker and the microphone. When you're at home before you start your meeting as a host, you can click on that and you can test the audio. It allows you to hear what you say, give them a timing, cue you that you have the free speak and replace whatever you have said. And that's how you're testing your audio. So you're working on possibility and you're hearing on, right? Once you're finished with that, now audio setting is going to give you another list of settings to go into. You realize that once you click on it, you see other options that has to do video, audio, share screen background, and filters, recording, statistics, feedback, keyboard shortcuts, and accessibility. Now we're still on audio, so you'll see other options. What we have selected so far is automatically join audio by computer and join the meeting. This is something that we have presets into Zoom because we are an administrator. So every time you're connecting, our audio automatically comes on, right? And we are able to speak and one will be able to hear us. The other option is there where it says mute my microphone when joining a meeting. You can choose for the host to be muted or the students to be muted, I mentioned before. For example, space key to temporarily mute or unmute myself. There's a shortcut. So instead of clicking on the button that says unmute, you can press the space bar and you will be unmuted. Everyone knows the space bar is pressed. The space bar is a long bar on your computer. When you press it, it gives that space. There's a sync button on headsets. So if you're wearing one of those devices that person across the use, for example, to mute and unmute, you can do that together. I'll click on that. Now there is what's where it says video. Video. Now when you go here, you can see the image that people will see. So that's the video that you're showing on the screen. HD will obviously use a higher megabyte usage, will have a higher megabyte usage, but the picture is much clearer. Now we usually click on HD video when we're having like a webinar, a seminar, and everyone is operating from home. So that we give you the highest quality that is coming through the internet to you is the highest quality to you. Right? So as a regular host, you don't have to click on HD. There's a regular video that says original ratio. So exactly how we are here is exactly what is being shown to you. There are other options right here we can adjust for light. Oh. Okay. There's easy camera that allows you to show whatever you want to show to your activity before you can show you. So what happens is the guy's computer turned on and he was able to share, like he was waving his hand to see that. But because he has another camera that is up here, that is what we're seeing right now. There is touch of my camera that makes it look prettier on the screen, so they're making sure. That's how you have on your phone and makes your face look softer. That's what that does. You have mirror my image. So when you click on mirror my image, it's a reflection of whatever it is that you're seeing here. Right? So now option that you can clear up with. Click on that one so you can see further. So in the same technique, we just flip it around. So it's not going to get you inside by side. Just flip it around so it looks like a reflection. And click on touch appearance. So you just think you can have high or low. And of course, just like any other picture, that just leaves the picture looks differently. You can fix up the picture. Right? And of course, in this case, the picture will be Now, we can come up with green screen. The green screen is active. I don't see that. Click on the green screen. Alright, depending on the type of computer that you have, I don't think our computer is that upgrade that allows you to see a green screen. But so for example, if you're at home and you're on your computer, you can click on the background filters, and what that will allow you to do, it brings up different options of what your background can look like. Now, a green screen is literally just that. It brings up your back, so you won't see this behind me if I activate it. You will see a green screen. Or some person, some options that are there would be a tropical background, a work background, a classroom background. There are different images, but the older computers will not allow you to see those options because of a graphic card. So if your machine doesn't have a graphic card, it won't show you much options. You should, but depending on how old it is, you won't have any options or you have limited options, right? Oh, you want to? Right, so they can click on different things to bring it up in the image. So you see, click on the Christmas light, because of the filters. So if you have a phone filter, you can bring up different images in your picture. This allows you to bring up different images in your video. So you can make it like a theater, you can make it like a Christmas card. So that's when you have like a Christmas service, you can bring up those things and it comes across your pictures to those for your participants or your students. Right. Okay. Right. So the they have different Christmas themes, and you can choose to have no filter at all. Now, is everyone on the Zoom meeting now? Or everyone's able to join the Zoom meeting? No? You don't ignore? All right. Here is one of the most important features for today, I think. Go to the breakout room, please. Now, this option is very helpful to you as teachers. If you are giving students group work, you can assign a group leader and you can have as many as 20 breakout rooms. I don't think you're going to have that because we don't want to go to class, that's how you school or in school. But you can assign up to 20 classrooms, you can have a version, you can assign even more, and you would assign the group leaders or teachers to be co-hosts, and that person will manage those classes. So what you can do is you assign the person to the class, click on 4 groups. Click assign. Manually. Create. That's actually how you activate the breakout room. You can do it where the person's going to rooms automatically so you don't have to put any at all yourself. The only problem if you do that is that it means that there's no particular person who's in charge. Because if they're doing it automatically, you don't know who's going to what room. Now, I have clicked on 4 rooms, but you can have more. And what you can do is set assign. So you click on assign there and choose from the names there and put those specific persons into the classroom. And you can actually rename the classroom. Move on. Assign. Rename. Right, so you click on the bar and you can type in Sister Tomlinson. And you just click all of it. Click on, right, and that's how you actually name the breakout room. And then you can go ahead and assign the different students to each class. breakout room that allows all the persons that you assign to go to each classroom. Alright? And when you open the classroom, you realize it tells you who isn't assigned to a classroom as yet, which is good. Because persons may join the room late or the meeting late, and you can go ahead and assign them accordingly. Can close that. And you can close all the rooms. Now when you close all the rooms, it doesn't automatically close up. It gives you at least 1 minute before the room is closed. And what it does, it tells the teacher that she has a minute before the room is closed. And then once the minute is off, everybody goes back to the main room. Now I have covered the basics of the Zoom classroom. But is there any specific questions that need to be answered at this time? Recording, yes, I did not go through the recording. Thank you so much, Steve. Can you bring up recording from? Okay, so you'll see the option at the bottom of the screen. You click on record, and you can choose to record to the computer or to the Zoom cloud. Once you create the account, you get a certain amount of space. So what will happen is if you click on cloud, it goes to your program, and you're able to access the recording once you go into your meeting option. Once you log in, you can access it from that option. If you're not seeing it, you can send an email to the Zoom tech, and they usually respond immediately or later on in the day. They don't normally take a long time to respond, and they will send you the recording that you have done for your meeting. Or you can simply save on your computer, name the file, and you can go back into whatever you want to. And I can tell you that even if it depends on the options that you have, but even your students can record sessions. If they have a safe version, they can also record a classroom. Okay? Yes, you can say it on the phone, but it's not as easy on the phone. Not as easy. Because you know how easy it is to manage when you play a computer. But if you select that, then and it will just ask you where to save. As long as you have the space on the computer. Alright, so I have covered the basics. Based on some of the questions, I really wasn't able to go into the add-ons, but you have that handout with you, right? And it tells you of the tools that you can use to help you with Zoom. Some of them you're maybe familiar with. You can actually use Google Drive as a Zoom add-on. I don't know if you knew that, but you can. One of the important things I didn't speak about before is actually polling, right? Or you can actually poll or ask questions. You can have a questionnaire for the group. You can also do that in terms of you can use the polling system for Zoom to use as your classroom attendance, where you mark your register. And so you can have persons just go ahead and click on their names. So you put in all the names and you tell them to click yes or no. That would be the survey then or the poll. And once you have completed that, you will automatically be able to have that saved from Zoom as the host. So I didn't do that before. So that makes marking register so much easier. Or you can actually do it for yourself if you want. But I would suggest that you do questionnaires for your class. Even if you want to make sure they have learned the material, you can have questions that you send them notes, or if you want them to state something. I remember from the lesson, they can have open-ended questions where they can type in what they want. And all of those options will come up to you as the host, right? And as I said, there are other options there that you can look at. And if you're not sure about them, you can feel free to question us. And I'll be happy to take follow-up questions. Now, I'm going to close off this portion and I've finished. Is there any other question that you wanted to ask before I go? Okay, I am not in Kingston, but available in WhatsApp. I can tutor you online. I can create a Zoom meeting and you come on and walk you through anything you want me to walk you through. So yes, I'm available in that way. Yes. Yes. Or what I will do, I just share my number now and persons can feel free to call me on a Saturday because in the week my time is very unpredictable. So Saturday is probably the best day for you to call me. So I'm going to share my number. That's 796 8436. I do understand that it's not so easy in this city because you feel a little bit pressure and you don't have the devices. And when you're going through it yourself, there are things that we're doing here that will not be as easy to you. But feel free to call me and I will help you as best as I can. Okay? Don't worry, sister. You'll get through it. That's so hard. Well, the Lord bless you and thank you. Wonderful. Thank you so much.